I'm ranking the best reliever from every team in Major League Baseball from worst to best. Welcome back to day 10 of the 12 days of MLB rankings. 2 days away from the big top 50 player rankings in the league, so make sure if you are not yet subscribed, do so right now. Click that sub button, trying to get to 290K before we finish these rankings. Tomorrow, we've got the top 30 pitchers in the league. That's just straight up top 30. Today, we're going to do one reliever from every team. Let's have some inclusion here. If I miss someone, let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, enjoy the reliever rankings. Getting the top 30 started at number 30, I've got the Nationals' best reliever, Clayton Beeter. Yeah, I mean, the Nationals had one of the worst bullpens in baseball last year. Traded away their good arms. And it's not that I think Clayton Beeter is bad or not good. It's just compared to the rest of this list, he has to find himself at the bottom. He struck out like 30% of the batters he faced in a small sample last year, did walk over 15%. But if you can have that swing and miss stuff, you're probably just one of the better relievers in the bullpen. Strikeouts are huge. Work on the control a little bit. Beeter at one point was a prospect with some shine. He was a second-round pick back in 2020, traded for Joey Gallo to the Yankees, and then the Yankees traded him to the Nationals for Med Rosario. It's kind of a fun arm. Next up at number 29, I've got Minnesota Twins best reliever Cody Funderburk. First off, electric name. Funderburk, love that. Last year was by far the best season of his career. Lowest ERA at 3.51 in 41 innings. The whip is insanely high. I don't necessarily know how good Funderburk is, but he bumped up the K rate, walked under 10% of the guys he faced, gets a bunch of ground balls. That's kind of what you get with Cody Funderburk. And from the left side's got a sinker, cutter, sweeper, changeup, slider, 5 pitches. Could be a decent little reliever. Coming in at number 28, I've got Ryan Thompson of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Their 2 best relievers are hurt, Justin Martinez and AJ Puck. So, third, we go to Ryan Thompson. Has one of the funkiest arm slots in all of baseball with that sidearm submarine type release. Throws sinkers and sliders. The pitches move all over the place, gets a ton of chase, gets a bunch of ground balls. While he does walk a few guys, doesn't really strike anybody out, the quality of contact is usually pretty poor, which is great for Ryan Thompson. One of the more unique relievers on this list, Thompson at 28. Keeping it in the NL West at number 27, I've got Jimmy Herget of the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies bullpen is chaos. Shout out Victor Vodnik, shout out Seth Halverson, but shout out Jimmy Herget. Anybody who can have a sub-3 ERA in Colorado out of the bullpen, throwing 83 innings while also giving up almost no ground balls, it is impressive that Jimmy Herget was able to do this. Another guy with a extremely unique arm angle, throws almost completely flat horizontally. Another guy who throws 5 different pitches, curveball, slider, sinker, four-seam, changeup, just a bunch of junk. None of it's very hard, but all of it induces weak contact, a lot of pop-ups, not hard hit balls. Jimmy Herget had a great season to get a 2.48 ERA with a whip under 1.2 in 83 innings in Coors. Gotta give him some love here. Just missing on the top 25 at number 26, I've got Riley O'Brien of the St. Louis Cardinals. O'Brien's got a heavy fastball. Throws from a 3/4 slot, 98 with sink along with a really nice slider. Induces a ton of ground balls. You just pound this pitch into the ground. He does walk some guys, but again, the barrel rates are so low and the quality of contact is terrible that O'Brien was extremely successful last year. In 48 innings, a 2.06 ERA with a 1.15 FIP, 22.6% K rate, not the highest, but again, 55.2% ground ball rate with a low hard hit rate. It's just not really hitting the ball well off of Riley O'Brien. Getting the top 25 start at number 25, I got Elvis Alvarado of the Athletics. Now, you might not be familiar with this name, but this is my bullpen freak that I'm obsessed with this offseason. Alvarado last year threw 4-seam, slider, sinker, change, and honestly, I think the sinker's more because his mechanics are a little bit sloppy. He drops his arm at times. That 4-seam fastball is electric. Averages 99 miles an hour, gets well above 100 at times, and gets a ton of whiff. He had a 39.6% whiff rate on his 4-seam fastball last year, and then the slider is also really good. It's got really unique shape as well, a 41.2% whiff rate, and it comes in at like nearly 90 miles an hour. Alvarado's one of my favorite players that I've just randomly found in a bullpen. There's not many guys in the league who on a 4-seam fastball and a slider have a 35% whiff rate on the fastball and a 40+% whiff rate on the slider. The stuff's electric. I can't wait to see what he can do with the Athletics this year. I think he's their best reliever out there. Coming in at number 24, I've got Dennis Santana of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Santana had a great year out in Pittsburgh. He threw a ton of sliders, got a lot of chase, and really didn't walk anybody. Now, he's not going to get a ton of strikeouts, only a 22% K rate, which was about league average. In 70 innings last year, a 2.18 ERA with a whip under 1 at .87 is pretty nuts. I don't know how nasty he will be next year. I think he's more of a middle reliever guy than a true like end-the-game type closer. But the stuff we saw from Dennis Santana last year was really good, and I do think he is a solid reliever. Next up at number 23, I've got Ryan Walker of the San Francisco Giants. Walker has one of the more unique unique pitch combinations in Major League Baseball. The slider and the sinker look identical until they don't. They tunnel off each other extremely well, and they go opposite directions. This causes Ryan Walker to get a ton of soft contact, a lot of ground balls, and he throws a ton of strikes too, which is great. Now, last year wasn't a great season for him, coming off a career year, 61 innings, 4.11 ERA, and a whip at 1.27. I'd like to see him have a little bit more success, get a little more chase, but for a guy who looks to get contact, he does that well, and they don't make good contact. It's kind of crazy his ERA was as high as it was, despite being a pretty effective pitcher last year. For the 22nd best reliever in today's video, I've got the Angels closer, Robert Stevenson. After signing with the Angels in 2024, Stevenson dealt with injuries and actually made his Angels debut last year in 25. Extremely small sample, 10 innings, 2.7 ERA, a whip at 1. But in the prior year when he went to the Rays, they really seemed to figure it out for him. And I liked Robert Stevenson. I thought it was a good signing by the Angels. Didn't really make sense for where their organization was going, but in terms of quality player assessment, I think Stevenson is a good reliever, someone who they're going to look to probably trade this season at the deadline. Throws a ton of cutters, throws like 96, 97 miles an hour, even has a split finger and a slider, gets a ton of chase, gets a ton of whiff, gets swings and misses, doesn't get barreled up a ton, all stuff you like out of a good reliever. Just need to see him throw a little bit more coming off of injury. And then just missing on the top 20 at number 21, I've got the best reliever for the Rangers, Chris Martin. Martin is just consistent. He's going to throw a ton of strikes, only a 4% walk rate last year, one of the best in baseball. He's going to get a ton of chase, going to strike out about league average, throws a cutter, a sinker, a four-seamer, a split finger. All the pitches tunnel off each other extremely well. And at 39 years old, he just continues to be able to get big outs towards the end of the game. Chris Martin's a solid reliever. There's really not that much to say. 42 innings last year, sub-3 ERA, 1.2 whip. Sign me up all day. Getting the top 20 start at number 20, I've got Carlos Estevez of the Kansas City Royals. Led the league in saves last year. All the underlying stuff was not good. Like he doesn't get anybody to chase or whiff or swing and miss or hit the ball on the ground. But in Kansas City, that works because you put the ball in the air. It's really not doing much damage. It's a huge ballpark. Still, despite that, 66 innings, a 1.06 whip, which is pretty good, and a 2.45 ERA is great. I think there could end up being better relievers in Kansas City. Like, I might like Nick Mears more, but for right now, I'll still give it to Estevez, who's the closer, getting the biggest outs, and he led the league in saves. Top 20 guy. Next up at number 19, I've got newly acquired Toronto Blue Jay Tyler Rogers. I think he's better, and the contract says so too. He's like the highest paid reliever in that bullpen. Tyler Rogers is without a doubt the most unique pitcher on this list. He basically throws underhand. Again, you're watching the clips right now. He's insanely disgusting. Doesn't throw hard, but he has a sinker that basically rises, if that makes sense, and a slider that also rises. It's so bizarre. Not really many guys in Major League Baseball history who have ever thrown like him, and the numbers were great again. 77 innings, a sub-2 ERA, a whip under 1. I might be underrating him. I tend to lean towards guys that strike people out more, and I got to see firsthand the shortcomings of a guy like Tyler Rogers because there's a bunch of balls put in play, and while the quality of contact's poor, sometimes they just happen to fall for hits. So that's why he's a little bit lower. But in terms of sheer production, his ERA, Tyler Rogers is fantastic. I just prefer velo and strikeouts more. These are my rankings, but he walks like 2% of the batters he faced, had the lowest barrel rate in the league, one of the highest ground ball rates. Those are all awesome, and the Blue Jays have great defense, so it's a perfect fit. Ever so slightly ahead of Tyler Rogers at number 18, I've got Kenley Jansen, now of the Detroit Tigers. Good little move by the Tigers. I think Kenley is still a very solid reliever. 59 innings last year, a 2.59 ERA with a whip under 1. Hall of Fame career for sure. He's throwing 80% cutters. The rest are sinker sliders, whatever he's deciding to throw on that day. He's 6'100" and comes at you with some of the best extension in the league. Still strikes out about league average, walks about league average. The ground ball rate is one of the lowest in the league, but that's going to play really well in Detroit. I think this is a great fit for both sides. Time for an underrated king at number 17, Ronnie Enriquez of the Miami Marlins. If you ain't hip to Ronnie, you better be hip now. Ronnie Enriquez was one of the best relievers in baseball last year that you never heard of. In 73 innings, a 2.22 ERA in 69 games, nice. A whip at 1.10, had one of the highest K rates in all of Major League Baseball at 32.3%, one of the highest whiff rates at 36%, one of the highest chase rates at 35.3%. Those are 98th and 97th percentile each. He throws about 97. The sweeper and slider play off each other so well, even as a changeup, to give him a real fourth pitch. I think you're looking at a guy who the Marlins can either have be their big arm at the back end of their bullpen, or someone they could trade at the deadline to a team competing and really get a ton back for. Enriquez looks awesome. And we also stand a short king, 5'10", one of the best small relievers that we've seen. Just missing on the top 15 at number 16, I've got Grant Taylor of the Chicago White Sox. Don't look at the ERA. I know it almost starts with a 5. You just gotta look at the stuff with Grant Taylor. Taylor. A 99-mile-an-hour fastball that's just got some of the best rise in all of baseball, a curveball that drops an insane amount, even a really good cutter and a slider that's got some work to do. Grant Taylor has some of the craziest stuff out of the bullpen, and he's 6'3", throws 99, and has some of the best extension in the game, 7.4 feet of extension. That 99 probably feels like 103. He struck out 34.4% of the batters he faced in this small sample last year. Got a ton of ground balls too. Like, I don't even know how he had a nearly 5 ERA. None of it makes sense. All I know is he might end up being one of the best relievers in baseball next year. If that's where they go, they might put him in the starting rotation, which also would be a great idea. He's that good. Getting the top 15 start at number 15, I've got Emilio Pagan of the Cincinnati Reds. Awesome year from Emilio Pagan, and really took some steps forward as a bullpen arm in his mid-30s. Struck out 30% of the batters he faced last year, got a ton of chase, a ton of whiff, and in that ballpark, to keep the barrel rates down and the hard hit rate down like he did is huge because the balls fly out of Cincinnati. He appeared in 70 games last year, 68 and 2/3 innings, a 2.88 ERA with a whip at .92. The fastball was up to 96. The split got just such low quality of contact, which is great, and the cutter busts in on the lefties. Pagan's an underrated reliever in the game. Big reason why the Reds made the playoffs last year. At number 14, another newly acquired player, this time for the Baltimore Orioles, Ryan Helsley. 2025 was a nightmare season. Between the pitch tipping and the struggles that he had with the Mets, the end of the year looks horrible. Like a 4.5 ERA with a 1.5 whip is bad. But we know that the stuff is ridiculously good. And we know that pitch tipping was the reason. If the Orioles have fixed the pitch tipping with Helsley, which by the way, it looked like it did towards the end of the year for the Mets, he's going to go back to being one of the better closers in the entire game. It's just that has to get fixed because we saw he's going to get smoked if it doesn't. Still throws 100 miles an hour, still has a really good slider. K rate was still high. The whiff and chase rate were all great. All this stuff tells you that it just might have been a fluky bad year, and again, goes back to the pitch tipping, so I didn't want to bump him down too far. I think 14's fair for Helsley. Ever so slightly ahead of him at number 13, I've got Daniel Palencia of the Chicago Cubs. Oh, this guy's awesome. What an electric arm on Palencia. Nearly average fastball velo at 100 miles an hour. And the slider is great. Nobody barrels up the ball against him, again, because the stuff is disgusting. And in 52 innings last year, a 2.91 ERA, a 1.14 whip with a K rate at 28.4%, a walk rate at 7.4, and again, one of the best barrel rates in the league at 4.4%, which is great in Wrigley. They just put the ball on the ground a ton. Nobody touches the slider, the fastball's electric, and even the split finger, which he's been working on, gets good results. I like Palencia a lot. Next up at number 12, I've got Griffin Jax of the Tampa Bay Rays. Griffin Jax had a bit of a rough year in terms of what the ERA and whip look like, but still the stuff is great, and that's all that kind of really matters because relievers pitch in such small samples that one or two bad appearances can completely change what your final stat line looks like. What doesn't change, though, is how many swings and misses this guy gets. He had a 35% K rate last year, which was 98th percentile. 98th percentile whiff rate, 99th percentile chase rate. The sweeper is ridiculous. The fastball is awesome. He's got the sinker. He's got the changeup. He's even throwing a cutter. He's got 5 different pitches, all of which are really good. In 66 innings, he did have a 4.23 ERA, but nearly struck out 100 batters with a 1.29 whip. He just gave up hits last year. Seemed a little bit unlucky, especially because he gets a ton of ground balls and strikeouts. It's almost hard to fathom how poor Griffin Jax's number at the end of the year looked because everything else tells you he's one of the best relievers in baseball. Just outside the top 10 at number 11, I've got New York Mets closer Devin Williams. There's totally a world where Devin Williams goes back to being one of the 5 best relievers in baseball, but we can't ignore that last year was a rough season with the Yankees. Similarly to Jax, still did all the stuff that you love really well. They're actually unbelievably similar. Devin Williams had a slightly lower K rate at 34.7%, a whiff rate at 37.7%, and a chase rate at 35%. Those were all 97th percentile and higher, so yes, still elite. Nobody's really hitting him that much. The ground ball rate was above average. The extension's phenomenal. But still, you look back and in 62 innings had a 4.79 ERA, 90 strikeouts, and a 1.13 whip. Like, what a weird season for Devin Williams. Like, the velo is down a little bit, down to 94. I don't love that, but he's never been someone who threw super hard. I'm a little nervous as a Mets fan going into the season because Edwin Diaz is just so much better. But Devin Williams definitely shouldn't have had a near 5 ERA last year. Like, that just doesn't make sense again with all the underlying stats. Still a borderline top 10 guy. Getting the top 10 start at number 10, I've got Robert Suarez of the Atlanta Braves. I'm not sure who's going to close between him and Iglesias, but I don't think it really matters. Suarez, to me, is the better reliever. Over his 4 seasons at the major league level, a sub-1 whip and ERA below 3. Last year for the Padres, had a really good season. 70 appearances, 69.2 innings, nice 40 saves on the year, a 2.97 ERA, a whip under 1 at .90. Struck out 28% of the batters he faced, walked under 6. That's well above league average for both. Throws absolute gas. The four-seam fastball is 99 miles an hour with a ridiculous changeup. There's not really much to talk about Robert Suarez. He's just good and the numbers back it up. For the 9th best reliever in today's video, New York Yankees closer David Bednar. 2024, bad season for Bednar, but you can see that it's sandwiched between two elite seasons out of the bullpen. Bednar last year, 62 innings, 2.3 ERA, a whip at 1.04, striking out 86 batters, 97th percentile in K rate at 34.3%. Got a ton of whiffs, got a ton of chases, got a lot of ground balls, throws gas, 97 miles an hour with a good curveball and splitter. You're kind of seeing a trend here. The guys towards the top of this list get a ton of strikeouts, throw pretty hard. That's what David Bednar does, and being able to do that for the Yankees like he did last year, I feel like people are kind of underrating how good he is. Bednar is without doubt an elite reliever. Ooh, one of my favorites here at number 8, an absolute demon in the bullpen, Abner Uribe. Uribe is so good. I think you guys should be hip to him by now, but just in case if you're not, I'm going to tell you all about him. First off, he's got all the confidence in the world on the mound, and it makes sense. He's got some of the nastiest stuff in the league. 75 innings last year, a 1.67 ERA with a whip at 1.04. He had the lowest barrel rate in baseball, 2.9%, 91st percentile in whiff and K rate, 30% K rate, 32% whiff rate. He throws 100 miles an hour. He's got a wipeout slider. He gets a ton of ground balls. You don't hit the ball hard against him. This guy is unbelievably good. The Brewers just keep doing it. Hey, you want to be a good bullpen arm? Come to us, pitch for us. You're going to be insane, and that's what happened with Abner Uribe. One of the best relievers in the game. Might be underrated. Maybe I'm not rating him high enough. You let me know in the comment section. But Uribe, one of my favorite relievers in baseball. Also, shout out to Rolling the Dice. Electric celebration. For the 7th best reliever in today's video, it's the Seattle Mariners and Andres Munoz. Similarly, Munoz throws 100 miles an hour, has an unreal good slider, and strikes everybody out in the world. He also gets a ton of ground balls too. It's like if you put the ball on the ground, it's less likely to do some real damage. You get the strikeouts, even better on top of that, and Munoz does. 3rd straight season where the ERA has gotten lower and lower and lower. A 1.73 ERA in 62 innings last year, a whip at 1.03, 83 strikeouts. He struck out 32.7% of the batters he faced, 36% whiff rate, 31% chase rate. Again, these are all elite numbers. Same thing with the ground ball rate being over 50%, no barrels. He does walk some guys. He can give you a little bit of a heart attack, but he's going to strike out the rest of the world, and that's why Munoz is one of the best in baseball. Just missing on the top 5 at number 6, I've got Aroldis Chapman of the Boston Red Sox. Jeez, what a year! 61 innings, 1.17 ERA, and a whip at .7. Are you kidding me? Apparently, Chapman, for the first time in his career, was actually trying to throw the ball to certain spots in the zone. Apparently, just tried to throw down the middle before. If that's true, yeah, his career might last another 5 seasons. Still throwing 100 miles an hour. The four-seam, the sinker, the slider, and now even got a splitter. It's just so ridiculous. 37.3% K rate, one of the best in baseball. Didn't walk anybody, didn't give up any barrels. The extension is one of the best in the league. So again, that 99 feels like, I don't know, 120. The chase rate's insane. The whiff rate's insane. Everything that you'd ever want out of your reliever, Aroldis Chapman's got it. He was untouchable last season. Give the top 5 start at number 5. I've got Josh Hader of the Houston Astros. After a bit of a shaky 2024, Hader bounced back in 2025. Had an injury, a little scary, but he was still so good. 52 and 2/3 innings last year, a 2.05 ERA with a whip at .85. My God. He's got the sinker, he's got the slider, and he'll even throw a changeup every once in a while. 37% K rate, 40% whiff rate, nearly 40% chase rate. The expected batting average is insanely low. The hard hit rate is extremely low. I mean, he's got a 55% whiff rate on his slider. When he throws it and you swing, more than likely you're not going to hit him. Josh Hader's ridiculous. One bad year, yeah, who cares? Top 5 again. For the 4th best reliever in today's video, Philadelphia Phillies' Jhoan Duran. Jhoan Duran has the unique ability to be one of the few pitchers in baseball that throws a splinker. That's right, it's a splitter and a sinker. And he throws it 98 miles an hour. Oh, and his four-seam, 101. He's also got a curveball and a sweeper, just in case you were starting to feel a little comfortable. 70 innings last year at 2.06 ERA with a whip at 1.1. He has the highest ground ball rate in the league at 65.4% and a K rate at nearly 28. You just don't put the ball in the air, which also gives him one of the best barrel rates, gives him one of the best chase rates, one of the best whiff rates. He doesn't even really walk guys, a 6.6% walk rate. Jhoan Duran is just so good. Again, one of the more unique pitchers in baseball because of that splinker, just induces horrible contact. And the knuckle curve gets a ton of whiff. The sweeper and the small sample he used it got a ton of whiff. Jhoan Duran's sick. Same spot as last year. At number 3, I've got Cade Smith of the Cleveland Guardians. Yeah, not talking about his buddy anymore. He gone. Cade Smith, still really good. Last year, the ERA was a little higher. Ooh, sorry, 2.93 and 73 and 2/3 innings. He had a whip at 1. Ooh, a little higher. He's washed. No, he's not. Of course he's not. Because in those 73 innings, he had a 35% K rate, 34% whiff rate, a 32% chase rate. Nobody was barreling up the ball. 97th percentile in barrel rate. The extension, again, is one of the best in the league, so that 96-mile-an-hour fastball feels like 100 pretty much. And while he does get the ball in the air more than some of the other previously mentioned relievers, it doesn't matter because nobody gets on base, nobody gets hits, he strikes everybody out. And if you've watched his fastball, it has just such crazy rise on it. It looks like the thing's floating up in the zone, and it gets on you quickly. Cade Smith is so good. Cleveland just continues to pump out insane bullpen arms. Just missing on the number 1 spot at number 2, we've got Edwin Diaz now of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Oh, hurts my chest to say that. I can't believe Edwin's gone, but I gotta respect him chasing the ring and getting paid. Last year, he was unbelievable, went back to being arguably the best reliever in baseball. 66 innings, a 1.63 ERA with a whip under 1 at .87. He struck out 38% of the batters he faced. 41.5% whiff rate's nuts. The chase rate's crazy high. He still throws 98, 99, 100 miles an hour. He's got the 2 pitches. It doesn't matter. You're not touching him. Nobody barreled him up last year. 4.6% barrel rate, above league average in ground balls. The extension's great. So again, that 97 feels like 101. There's a reason he got paid like he did. There's a reason he's so sought after. He is arguably the best reliever in baseball. But coming in ever so slightly ahead of Edwin Diaz at number 1, San Diego Padres reliever Mason Miller. When you give up one of the 10 best prospects in baseball, yeah, that guy better be good, and Mason Miller is. What makes him so unique is his ability to go more than 1 inning, along with the fact that he averages 101.2 miles an hour with his fastball, has an 89-mile-an-hour slider that just, it's so good. 61 and 2/3 innings last year, a 2.63 ERA with a whip at .91. He had the highest K rate in baseball at 44.4%. He had the highest whiff rate at 45.2, one of the highest chase rates at 35.5. He also gets good extension on 101, so have fun with that. He threw the slider a lot more last year, and it just simply was one of the best pitches in baseball, a 54.6% whiff rate. The fastball was a 38% whiff rate. Just the stuff is like that out of a video game. Like if you created a closer in a video game, it would be Mason Miller. Throw 102, have a wipeout slider, and you know what? I'll throw a couple changeups too just in case. Mason Miller is disgusting. He's the best reliever in baseball. So there they are, my reliever rankings, the best reliever from every team in Major League Baseball. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Of course, I don't think Cody Funderbunk is the 29th best reliever, but we're picking one from every team. So there are going to be some guys left out. You can let me know in the comment section below who you think I should have ranked. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it, as well as subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content. Follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc. Links are in the description. That's where I'll wrap it up. You know the drill from here on out. This is my most recent upload of the 12 Days of MLB Rankings. If you haven't seen it, click that. And this is a playlist to the 12 Days of MLB Rankings. If you haven't seen any of them, I highly recommend you do. Only 2 days left. We've got top 30 pitchers tomorrow, top 50 players in the league on Christmas Day. Hope to see you guys there. Peace out.